say that this is going to be a Tom and Jerry affair today, but I am sorry to disappoint in the sense that what happened in Akwatia was expected, in all honesty.
Really?
We were quite certain.
Hi, great people of Ghana. It's a Nigerian God pleasure bringing you political news in our channel Ghanatube. Following the arrangement of President John Mahama over everything he has actually promised the people of Ghana, accountability, integrity, transparency, and whatnot, and actually working in every sector to actually make everything work perfectly. We are always here to bring you all this news, the trending news your way, so you actually get glued to this station. Please also make sure to share our news, so when you get it, at least just help us to share the news, and also do well to always like, comment, and follow. Please watch the news.
That the National Democratic Congress was going to take the Akwatia seat. And so the outcome is not really that surprising to us as a political party and as a government, because we put in so much work into it, and we are convinced that even in the 2024 general election we had won that particular seat.
Yeah, I was going to ask if the results of this one vindicate that position.
In a way, arguably, so it is a vindication of what we believed was the outcome of the 2024 general election. So it is not surprising to us. But you see, I listened to engineer, and in all honesty, sometimes the way my brother speaks and seeks to create an impression that when it comes to the politics of this country, the NDC and the NPP and all other political parties, with the exception of the CPP and himself, are disingenuous when it comes to service to the Republic of Ghana. We have never claimed perfection as far as our service is concerned. Not at all. Could never. That is an election. And we've had challenges with our electoral processes. And prior to this particular election, the Ghana Police Service, for the first time, engaged in ways many people commended them for. They engaged stakeholders, they engaged the political parties, and engaged the Electoral Commission of the Republic of Ghana to understand their mapping for the said by-election. Because we've always been complaining about election-related disputes, especially when it comes to by-elections. So there was the need for Akwatia to be a test case scenario for the Ghana Police Service in terms of how they could effectively police our electoral processes to ensure that we nip this associated violence in the bud.
Did they have to take 5,500 officers?
They did not take 5,500 men. That is inaccurate. Per the information I have, and I think in about 500 policemen were deployed on the day of the election. I heard him say that we carried ministers and we carried what's the name, soldiers. Did you see any military officer deployed in Akwatia? That is inaccurate. And we should not, at the back of sensationalism, create this kind of picture, because we want to run down everything democracy in this country, thinking that we are actually projecting it. I can understand that my brother has a problem with our democratic model, but that is what the 1992 Constitution gives us. That is what, as a people, we have decided to embrace. It is either he is part of that democratic journey, or he embarks on another campaign to develop his own model of representation for the people of this country.
Better practiced.
It can be better practiced, but if listening to him on weekly basis, it's clear that he has a serious issue with our democracy.
Or with how it is being practiced.
No, it is not about how it is being practiced. It is about democracy. He finds absolutely nothing attractive. Have you ever listened to him make references to anything positive about our democracy? Absolutely not. And you see, I have cautioned on this table that we have to be very careful, even in our commentary, because that is what we have. And the more we talk down upon it, the more we give an incentive to those who may not appreciate the relevance of democracy to take this democracy for granted and usher us into a system of governance that we would both dread. And that is a military regime. We must be responsible. And for me, it is a worry, especially when it is accompanied by dressing up of the issues. Soldiers taking, ministers left their offices. Which minister? Which soldier did you spot in Akwatia? Which minister of state did you spot there? Who is already the Tanko Rashid computer is a chief executive who is the deputy director of elections of the National Democratic Congress. So what are we talking about? And you have a regional minister in Eastern region not interested in what happens in his own region. So what is wrong if the Eastern regional minister attends such a function? Our youth and employment minister is the current national youth organizer of the National Democratic Congress. Until he hands over that role, he is still a national executive of the NDC. So let us appreciate that. And if it has to do with Galamsey, you will see that level of interest by the police and the level of interest by them. That is inaccurate. For some weeks now, we have been following the activities of the police. Even policemen were assaulted for trying to stop Galamsey. Let us commend them for that effort. Enough of unduly sabotaging the work of these servicemen, largely because of the differences we would have had or we might have had with some of them. There's a new leadership in place that is working. That is why we have our soldiers on the ground. That is why we have the policemen on the ground fighting Galamsey. Was and the unfortunate demise of our two ministers. Was it what they were going to attend? Was it not related to the activities of illegal mining? And we had two ministers, national security operatives, as part of that flight. Yeah. So what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Let us be fair to this government and the work we are doing. We may not be perfect in the kind of work we are doing, but I can assure you that that sincerity has been demonstrated by this government. And we would not be taken down by the negative commentary of my brother under the guise of trying to create the impression that he loves the country more than many of us seated around this table, including the NDC and the NPP. But that is, we all know that it is not true.
I don't know what that's about.
Now, back to the Akwatia. No, of course, but you don't want to wrap up. Wrap up for me. No, but don't say. Don't do that. I'll listen to it. You see, my brother, the greatest tragedy yet to unfold in this country, if we are not careful, is the failure on the part of the new patriotic party to appreciate the depth of the crisis that they find themselves. I'm not kidding. Look, go back to our electoral history since 1992. What is happening to the new patriotic party has never happened to any political party. And since 1992, we started sounding their alarm bells, and they failed to listen. We are talking about a political party that survives at the back of two regions in this country, Eastern and Ashanti region. We challenge them to build a political machinery that goes beyond these traditional blocks since 1992. Because they had carved a certain niche, either by accident or coincidence, for themselves. They took it for granted. They considered it as views of an opposition party. Again, they brought Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, as presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party in 2007, as a responsible opposition party then. The NDC raised issues about the leadership traits of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and how it clearly could be a serious danger not only to the survival of the New Patriotic Party, but even to the republic of this country, Ghana. They said that, look, we were engaged in beating war drums. We were tagging Nana Addo as being arrogant. They took it for granted. And we told them that Nana Addo's candidature would be the undoing of the New Patriotic Party. Nana, today what we are experiencing as far as the electoral misfortunes of the NPP is concerned, look, out of 16 regions, these guys only succeeded in winning 3. Thanks to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who added them North East region. It should have been 2 out of the 16. Again, this is a party that lacks representation in 4 regions of the 16 regions in this country. Again, this is a political party that has at least 111 representation in about 4 regions in this country. Only 1 members of parliament. This is a political party that has lost in excess of 1.7 million votes, never seen before since 1992. We needed to be careful in their problematic analysis of what the crisis they found themselves happens to be. They think that the solution to their crisis is the election of a flag bearer. And so for them, all the havoc Nana Addo in the last 16 years in charge of the NPP subjected them to, with the help of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, they are not appreciating it. They are yet to appreciate it. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia in the last 16 years did not only bring down confidence low as far as NPP politics is concerned, we all saw what they did even to the Ghanaian economy in the last 4 years and our democracy. They subjected our economy and our democracy to ruins. But when they were engaged in that, little did they know that they were not only destroying the economy of Ghana, they were not only destroying the fortunes of this republic, but they were indirectly destroying the fortunes of their own political party and pushing it to levels unseen.
Are you laying the defeat in Akwatia at the doorstep of Akufo-Addo?
You see, I am telling you that the defeat in Akwatia is a reminder of the abyss the NPP finds itself, and as a serious political party, they must begin to do self-introspection and not think that the only way to solve their problems is an election of a flag bearer. That is the point I am making.
It starts from somewhere.
It started from somewhere. And I can assure you, we are committed as a political party. Our objective is to ensure that we make it practically impossible for the NPP to be the second force as far as our democratic process is concerned. Because the NPP is the greatest danger. We've been consistent since 1992 to our democratic stability and our democracy and our economy. And they demonstrated that in the last 8 years with the help of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Now finally, you see, and even in their state, they fail to appreciate the importance of data. I followed my brother yesterday. Everybody in this country, when Musa Dankwa started his research,
you leave it for me.
When Musa Dankwa started his research in 2024, they berated him, they insulted him, they questioned it. Many of them, after the election, had cause to come publicly and apologize to him. And I'm surprised my brother is not learning useful lessons from it. Yesterday, he was the one who led the charge, questioning again the research Musa Danko had conducted.
Ajana 1, Ajana 2.
You see, so they simply don't seem to appreciate the mess they find themselves. And for him, he ought to know better that the dynamics are changing and they are losing it on daily basis. Dennis is an intelligent young guy. You can't question that.
If I come and speak, you know, let's say you are 10. You can no way. It's okay. It's okay.
You can't question that. He's an intelligent young man, and what I expect from him
is okay. It's okay.
Okay, I'll leave it.
Please do well to like, comment, and follow. Put on notification bell saying all our news one by one. Thanks, my people.